Hello, this is Kian from the Football Obsession podcast. This isn't going to be a podcast episode today. This is an update to my first video, which was titled "My Views on the ESL, the European Super League," which I and my uncle and I gave our views on it. That was recorded on Monday. Today's Thursday. I've had some time to think about everything that's happened. Obviously, the club's backed out on Tuesday night. Along with a lot of protests going on against club owners, including the Glazers, Stan Kroenke for Arsenal, and there's a few more for Chelsea. I've not seen any for City, as this moment stands. However, Sky Cavitt is reporting that some owners are close to throwing the towel in, which I think is a good thing. I wouldn't. Last night, some news broke that some of the Glazers' family social media had got leaked. Richard Arnold, who is the chief executive at United, his phone number got leaked. I would not advocate anything like that. Although I think it could be helping in the fight towards getting the Glazers out. However, I would not advocate anything like that at all, ever. But I think we all just have to stand together in this and just say, no, this isn't right. Just like Gary Neville said, I am not having this. This isn't right. This is a personal attack on football, on us football fans, or on football in this country, and we're not having this. The reason why I didn't film yesterday, Wednesday, as the news broke on Tuesday night that clubs were looking to back out and then backed out, was because a series of events happened, which it just led me to feeling a bit very excited, very excited. However, overwhelmed massively. So on 12 o'clock, well, I woke up at 12 o'clock on Tuesday, and I seen a few things. I seen, number one of the clubs had said that we're not backing down, and number two, another one of the clubs had said, this is from the Big Six, another one of the clubs had said we're looking to back out. It was looking likely that it was either Chelsea or Manchester City. This is because they felt that they had been lied to, or in a quote, they felt that Manchester United and Liverpool Football Club, or the owners, the Glazers, had effed up in the proposal for the European Super League, which John W. Henry, who is the owner of he was the CEO of Liverpool and FSG, Fenway Sports Group, I think it's called, who own Liverpool. Ed Woodward from Manchester United, who was the CEO until Tuesday night, and the Glazers had lied to Chelsea and Manchester City. With that, then we saw about 2 p.m. The 14 clubs had. This was 2 p.m. on Tuesday. The 14 clubs had just chose to have a meeting together, and this meeting entailed discussing what the punishments would be. This meeting also entailed what the best way forward is to reject these plans utterly and completely. Which then led to about 4:30 to 5 p.m. on Tuesday, which led to protests outside Stamford Bridge just before the game against Brighton. This in turn delayed the Chelsea match, the Chelsea versus Brighton match. It delayed it by a short time, 15 minutes, but still delayed. The fans were blocking the team bus, which I do agree with personally. I don't know what you people who are watching, I don't know what your thoughts on that are. This is just my opinion, as obviously as I'm doing this on my own. This isn't a podcast episode. This is just me on my own doing an update video as to what I uploaded yesterday, as I couldn't render the video in time. So that happened, and then the news broke about the time of kickoff for the Chelsea match, which was 8:15 on Tuesday, 8:15 p.m. That Chelsea were looking to back out, and City had put in like formal legal papers, documentation to back out as well, which I think is nothing but a good thing. I think this is all good for for football that this is not happening. Despite what Florentino Perez says in his interviews, I believe that he is a very, very, very delusional man. For example, he said young people 16 to 24 do not watch football anymore. Obviously, I'm 18 years old. I watch football non-stop, talk about football non-stop. Even if people are interested in it, I'm trying to talk about football. This then led to about 9 o'clock. Maybe I think it was 9 o'clock. Ed Woodward had the news broke from Talksport, which aren't normally a very, very reliable source. However, on this, we had to believe it because it seemed too real. That Ed Woodward had resigned due to the European Super League. 19 minutes past 9, Manchester United released a statement on all the social medias and on the website saying that Ed Woodward had resigned. By 11 p.m. on Tuesday, all six of the English clubs had backed out of the European Super League, saying we're withdrawing, which was nothing but a good thing. It led me to feeling just wave after wave of excitement all night. It was unbelievable because the feeling, that horrible feeling that I got on Sunday was awful. It led to my mental health being just horrible for a few days. I felt very, very depressed. So then we go on to Wednesday, and Wednesday we've seen the news break that Ed Woodward had resigned because he was planning to resign anyway, which, for number one, I don't believe for 1 second, and number two, we also got news that Ed Woodward has resigned because he couldn't back the Glazers in this European Super League. Right, I just don't believe that because JP Morgan, who were going to finance this, are the bank that he used to work for that helped buy Manchester United. So I don't believe that for 1 second. We then go on to Wednesday day. Nothing really happened except there's just social media outcry with Glazers out, which I've been participating in too. There's also social media outcry with Kroenke out from Arsenal. There was a Spurs protest about 5 p.m. yesterday before the Tottenham Hotspur versus Southampton match took place at 6 o'clock with ENIC out. I'm not sure what that stands for exactly, or if it's ENIC. I'm not sure what it stands for, but I know that they play some part in owning the football club of the Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. So then we go on to Wednesday night. This then led to Florentino Perez doing another interview with this wasn't with El Chiringuito like it was on Monday night. This was with another channel. I can't remember what it was called. However, it was with another channel, and he was giving more quotes. It just seemed mental, the quotes that he was giving. The quotes such as young people don't watch football anymore. They have shorter attention span, so we may need to shorten the football matches. If this project doesn't work, something else will. Which I think this is completely and utterly dead in the water. I think he can't accept defeat for some reason. He cannot accept defeat. So then this led to it just utterly like people laughing their heads off at these quotes, because these quotes seem so ridiculous coming from a man that's been a Real Madrid president for over 20 years, who, by the way, were looking to back out the Champions League to go into the European Super League. And if you're telling me that Real Madrid fans will accept that, they've won more Champions Leagues than anyone else. They've won literally 5 on the row. Champions League means everything to them and their history. Please don't give me anything that this doesn't matter to them. This is just the owners and the president of Real Madrid that's doing this. And on that, I would completely urge you, if you're a supporter of either the Big Six or in the Big Six of the Premier League, or just a neutral in general for football, please don't hate the fans, the managers, the players. Hate the owners. Go against the owners, because these are the owners, as I said in the first episode, have zero connection to us. We feel disconnected from them. And I think we've nearly won in getting the Glazers out, at least. I think after today, with with the sponsors are looking to drop out of United, drop from United, etc. I think we've nearly won. I would then go to Thursday morning, which is today. I'm filming this. Well, I woke up about 2 hours ago, which was about 11 o'clock. And then see the Glazers social media had been leaked. The family's company had been leaked in terms of the family social media. This includes the daughter's social media, the son's Twitter, the daughter's Instagram, and I would not. And Richard Arnold's phone number has been leaked as well. I would not advocate this at all. However, I just think personally, I think it's what needs to be done. I haven't played any part in participating in messaging these social media accounts. I've played a part in just tweeting hashtag Glazers out. Well, you have to tweet something with hashtag Glazers out before you tweet anything. Like before you tweet just Glazers out, because it gets classed as spam. So I tweeted hashtag Glazers out. I've tweeted it a lot. I've tweeted over like 3,000 times or 2,200 times, something like that, since Sunday, and it's now Thursday, so that's an awful lot. It's more than I've ever been active on Twitter. So then it led me to thinking today that we've nearly won, because the players, the Manchester United players, the staff, the manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, were all blocked from getting into training this morning with banners such as 50+1, which is the German model of owning football with fan ownership. There was also banners with Glazers out, and that's it basically. But they were blocked from getting into training. They've since returned to training. However, I find it to be a very good move to take to do this. A very sensible move to take to block players to get into training. With also another banner saying we decide when you play as fans. So on Saturday, 3 p.m. I know today, Friday 6 p.m. There's a Kroenke out protest against the owner of the 100% owner of Arsenal Football Club. On Saturday 3 p.m. there's a hashtag Glazers out protest against the Glazers, obviously at Old Trafford at the Trinity statue. I'm hoping there's going to be thousands of people there. I will be there, but I want to say one thing. If this becomes a non-peaceful protest, this becomes everything we are fighting against. Everything. So we have to keep this a peaceful protest in order to get our voices heard. Because I feel that our voices are being heard now. I completely and utterly feel that. I am very confident of that. So I will be there at the protest. And I'm obviously missing watching football matches for that, but I feel like we need to do this for the greater good of our game, of English football. For me, in my opinion, the best case scenario would be Boris Johnson and Keir Starmer, and I know Keir Starmer hasn't got as much say as Boris Johnson, but the government push this legislation through for 50+1 or fan ownership. This would be for me the biggest move in English football history. To do this, the legislation for fan ownership would be unbelievable. How hard that would be, I don't know, because you can't just say to a company or people, for example, Glazers or Fenway Sports Group, that you can't just say you have to sell 51% of your company to the fans. You can't just say that it's worth billions. They're worth billions. I don't know how hard that would be. I hope that the government can push it through. However, I wouldn't be 100% confident on that. What I would be 100% confident about is that our voices definitely are being heard. The Glazers sponsors have since turned off replies on social media, which is unbelievable, which we've never had this before. I think on Saturday this will be our biggest protest in Manchester United's history, to get these Glazers out, and I think it will work. As I said before, Sky Cavey, who works for Sky Sports News and obviously Sky, has tweeted, and he's been tweeting the whole way through this. He has had very reliable sources. He tweeted that he's been told that some owners are close to throwing the towel in, which would be absolutely amazing. This will be unbelievable. Um, this will be like absolutely like changing in the football history of English football history, because for so long, for 16 years, Manchester United have had these owners like absolutely ripping this football club apart, milking them for everything, milking our club for everything it's got, taking money out year after year. They bought it and saddled it with £500 million debt, and we're still in 600. We're now in £600 million debt, 16 years later, might I add. So I just want to say this has been a very 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 crazy, probably the most crazy few days if you that you've ever seen. My uncle's like 41 years old, and it's the craziest few days he's ever seen with football. So if your emotions are feeling up and down, as your mental health would be with your emotions, don't be feeling afraid to talk about that. Don't be feeling afraid. Originally, I wasn't going to turn this into a podcast episode. However, I'm going to turn this into a podcast episode because I feel, number one, it's long enough, and number two, I feel like it would be better to interact with people watching, with viewers watching, if I turn this into a podcast episode. So I'm just going to touch on mental health briefly as well. So I feel like, as I touched on briefly in the first episode, my mental health would, like, I was feeling awful on Monday, awful. Deep down in my heart, I was feeling just quite empty. After what I'd heard about football, what was happening to football. Um, so I talked about it and I talked about it. I ranted. I was ranting to my mum, who doesn't really understand football. Um, I was ranting all over social media, and I saw a picture which most resonated with me, saying all we have to do is stand up and their little game is over, which will be the thumbnail for this video. I'm not sure how to do it yet, but I'll work this out. It will be the thumbnail for this video because it was a picture that most resonated with me, because it's shown all the clubs, all the 6 clubs in the Premier League playing a monopoly board over people's heads with loads of people like crouching down like that, which I felt it really resonated with me, because it is like a monopoly, and it is like all we did need to do was stand up and the game's over. So on mental health, no matter what you're going through at all, never ever ever be afraid to speak out. I've been through some tough hardships, and I've spoke. I didn't really. I was going through a phase in like 2018-19 of not speaking out. 2020, especially with the first UK lockdown, I began to learn to speak about my mental health. And I'm still not there yet. I'm still not. Obviously, nobody's perfect. Still not yet there yet. But if you need to speak about mental health, don't ever feel afraid to speak about it. Whether it's a trusted adult, especially a trusted adult, one of your family members, or a friend, or if you feel you need to listen to someone that's struggling with mental health, just be there to listen. You don't always have to have the solution. You just need to let them know that no matter their decisions, you will be there. No matter how much you disagree with them, you will be there. However, I would not agree with agreeing with everything they do. For example, if someone's going through some bad mental health and they decide to, as a coping mechanism, start smoking, for example, I would strongly advise for you to sort of step in and say, you need some help here. We're gonna get some help out. We're gonna help you as friends, as family, etc. So that is gonna be the most vital thing in people's mental health at the moment, especially as the world's slowly starting to come back to normal in terms of the coronavirus vaccine coming out. People may even feel overwhelmed with coming back into the world as it is now. So yeah, just speak about mental health. This has been Kian, and I'm out.